I to Infinity multimedia production.
Today is the day for an episode to be about something really goofy.
Yeah.
And when you have a friend with you, you will do an episode.
So we're
Finding your way, finding your way, finding your way through life.
Are you finished?
Goofiness.
I'm trying to
all,
introduce
but
the episode.
You will have what?
Just play the theme song.
All right. Oh.
Two dudes grew up watching cartoons, zany fun, always brighten the mood. They got or would stay the same. They love tunes, gonna entertain. So come and listen to these fine fellas with voices as smooth as jello. Watch them bring their love to you when two dudes become Toon Dudes. Toon Dudes.
Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Toon Dudes.
Yes, I'm the Toon.
And I'm the dude. And for the time being, we will stick with that as our intro.
This is just the intro.
This is
the intro. Get used to it. If I seem like I'm in the mood today, this is the Goofy movie episode that we're recording for a second time.
Yeah, Cab is a little sad. Just a little sad. We're still trying to find the original audio. A little bit of behind the scenes insight to you. But for those of you who do want to hear at least some of the audio that was still sustained from that original recording, you can subscribe to our Patreon, and you can look on there and see some of the membership deals, some of the things that we're offering, and yeah, we would greatly appreciate it. It definitely helps us to support our humble little show to make more episodes like this.
For viewers like you.
Thank you.
And now, on to our feature presentation. Isn't the Goofy movie awesome?
A Goofy movie really is just the best.
I mean, it's one of the best Disney movies. It's one of my favorite Disney movies.
It is mine too. That's what I was about to say, is that I truly do adore this movie. I know the conversation we've had previously is that this year's the 30th anniversary, so it felt like a perfect time for us to talk about this. And not only that, for the 30th anniversary, we got the release of a documentary, Not Just A Goof.
Not Just A Goof,
which actually goes into the behind-the-scenes details of how a Goofy movie got made.
And you know, it's so funny that they made this, because I feel like this movie was made because too many people saw the Atlanta episode and they thought it was real. I've had so many people come up to me and be like, dude, you have to hear this crazy story on how the Goofy movie was made. Watch Atlanta. This is how it was done. And I'm like, guys.
This is very easily verifiable, by the way. Like, the actual people who worked on it. I also think people don't know how Atlanta has operated if they actually think it's a real documentary.
Right, sure. But I mean, at the same time, you know, like the process of how the Goofy movie was made was just not documented at that time.
That's very true.
Or at the very least, you know, it wasn't widely publicized. And with how very little people know about the animation process in general, they probably just saw that, took to it like a fish to water, and they just thought, wow, I can't believe the director of a Goofy movie went crazy and thought he was Goofy, you know, as you do in reality.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing, is the episode gets explicitly more insane as it goes on, and you go, this is so easily refutable.
You know what's so funny? What's so funny about that is the way that I knew it was fake. It wasn't because, you know, at the time when I watched it that I knew the director or anything. No. I knew it was fake based off of one line that was in the episode.
What was the line?
It was like a scene where they said that they were watching a short called Mickey's Trailer. And in Mickey's Trailer, they said that Pluto was in it. And they questioned, like, oh, how come Mickey has a pet dog when Goofy's also a dog, right? I'm so much of a nerd. I watched that and I said, Pluto's not in Mickey's trailer. And that's how I knew it was undeniably fake.
That's awesome. That's actually really awesome. Man, that's interesting how something so minor,
innocuous, where it's, I just know that, because I know that cartoon like the back of my hand.
Right.
That's one of my favorite Mickey cartoons.
Right.
And so when they said that Pluto was in it, I was like, no, he isn't. He's not there at all. Goofy's in it, but not Pluto.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, man, people be confusing
Maybe
Goofy and Pluto.
Yeah, sounds a little racially charged to me. I don't know.
Just a little bit. But I would argue specious.
There we go.
Very specious.
Very specious in a way.
Specious.
Very suspicious. Sorry.
It's very suspicious. But no, I do think it's interesting that Atlanta sort of preceded this documentary in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that people actually went up to you and said, this is how the Goofy movie got made. Because being someone who's familiar with Atlanta, they play the satire card so explicitly. But all that to say is kind of the cool thing about this documentary is that one of my really good friends lived with the director and producer of Not Just A Goof. So
that's insane.
He was actually able to give a little insight into, this has been I believe it was almost a 5-year journey for them to actually make this documentary and everything. Because this documentary was not made by Disney. Disney just came on to distribute the documentary on Disney Plus, which is very fascinating. But it really spoke and speaks to the quality of the documentary that Disney saw it and said, perfect. This perfectly represents the story of a Goofy movie. Because I believe it was the producer who, it was his uncle, who's Kevin Lima, the director of a Goofy movie.
Yes.
And Tarzan, for that matter, which is a cool little tidbit if you didn't know.
But this isn't a Tarzan episode. This episode's about the Goofy movie, baby.
That's exactly right. There's a lot to get into. I think the documentary does a really good job of outlining some of the challenges that were happening. One thing that I find fascinating is the fact that this was the first time that Disney had the television animation team doing something at a feature level.
Right.
Am I correct in that?
I think so, because, a Goofy movie is based off of the show Goof Troop.
Right.
And I don't want to say loosely, but it's strange because, Disney Television made another movie, the DuckTales movie.
Yeah.
And the DuckTales movie, very much follows along with just kind of what the vibe of the original DuckTales is. The Goofy movie, though, it elevates Goof Troop. It elevates the material. It pushes the story further. Instead of Max being, the kid that he was in the show, now he's all grown up, so to speak.
He's in high school,
Yeah.
and that's true for a lot of characters. Even just tonally, this film feels very, very different, which, we get to see in retrospect was very controversial at the time.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I really love that they did. Certainly for those of us who grew up with this film, I think we are able to look at it in a different light. But the film, as Kevin shared in the doc, is heavily based on John Hughes' movie. So it's really going for this coming-of-age angle.
Yeah.
It's really going for this semi-realistic perspective with these characters. So I know that was a big challenge. And at one point, Jeffrey Katzenberg, the executive who was very heavily involved, I think he had just gotten hired on and this was his first major project before Lion King and a couple other films thereafter. But with this film, there was a lot of contention on how cartoony we're going to make it versus how real. To the point that Bill Farmer, the long-standing voice actor for Goofy, there was a period of time where it was almost decided that they would have someone like Steve Martin take the role.
Which is nuts to me. Nuts to me back then. Now, Chris Pratt would play Goofy.
Maybe it could still happen.
Aquafina even as Max Goof.
Max Goof.
Honestly,
that sounds interesting.
If Aquafina was Max Goof and Chris Pratt was Goofy, I would be morbidly curious.
I would
be morbidly curious. I'd be like, well, now I have to see it. Disney, don't get any ideas. This is not a pitch. I'm just saying it would be funny.
It wouldn't happen. it wouldn't happen. No, I do think it is fascinating that Steve Martin almost, well, I should say, it wasn't like he was pitched for the role. It was just a conversation point. And they tried all these different versions of the character to see if they could just work with Bill Farmer. And so there were takes where it was very, very realistic. It was just the Goofy voice, but just kind of in a lower register. They tried all these different things, and the final version, after Jeffrey got to hear it, he realized, like, no, we need Goofy to be Goofy.
And I just think that's more powerful too, because it's powerful. And I'm talking about a Goofy movie. I know, I get it, but hear me out. It's just about seeing this character that is, normally silly, funny, goofy, and seeing him go beyond basically what he was essentially created for and created to be. You see a much different side of Goofy, to the point where I would probably say, like, maybe besides like someone like Scrooge or someone, that Goofy is probably the most developed of the entire, like, Mickey and Friends cast.
Yeah, this movie really does do that, because you really get to see him beyond. Obviously, the film does a great job of playing into Goofy being Goofy. And that he's an embarrassing dad. He's got all these kind of quirks about him. But at the same time, we also get to see him deal with very honest experiences from a father's point of view.
Yes.
Where he's dealing with the fact that his son Max is growing up and that he doesn't have much time anymore, and he really wants to foster that connection. Whereas Max is in the phase of life where, especially having Goofy as a dad, another question this film asks is, what would you do if you were an average teenager and Goofy from the Mickey Mouse shorts and Goof Troop for that matter was your father? Man, it'd be a tough time.
And that's something I think I really admire about the movie.
Yeah, me too.
It could have been so easy to have made Max look like he's completely wrong and Goofy's right, or make Max looks like he's in the right and Goofy is just the adult that doesn't understand.
Yeah.
But in a way, you see both of their perspectives, And the only way that they're able to, fully understand each other is by actually communicating and talking with each other and getting on each other's levels and saying, maybe I don't understand everything you do.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't do everything that you want me to be, right?
Right.
But I still respect you because you're my father or you're my son. And I think that is really powerful. I think that's extremely powerful.
The film is so deeply nuanced in how it approaches these topics. And I think that's something I really appreciate about it, because I think very easily they could have oversimplified the story in a way that would not fully connect with people, where it would have dumbed down a lot of the tension sometimes faced in these relationships.
Yeah.
And also there are moments that truly just bring me to tears, where you're watching these. Of course, the dialogue is great throughout this film, and the musical numbers, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But I think about one scene that happens when they're going camping and literally Bigfoot's around.
Yeah.
A reminder that it's an animated film. But Bigfoot's around, just hunting down these guys and being a big old goober. But there's this moment in the car between the both of them where they're trying to connect, and there's just this moment of just sustained silence between them. And you just get to watch their reactions to each other. There's this awkward kind of holding of the shoulder and almost trying to talk and connect. And I don't know. It's so deeply honest in how it approaches some of these scenes and their relationship that I can't help but be just so taken with it. It really shows me, and should be a reminder to all of us, that there's so much power in this medium because on one hand, you get to have these incredibly beautiful, bombastic scenes throughout the film, but you also have that intercut with a very, very grounded relationship. This film is truly incredible, and I'm really glad that finally it's starting to receive its flowers. There was an event a while ago, I think that happened, it was either here in LA or at another convention, but there was a convention where they announced a Goofy movie was going to be played, and it was happening at one of the smallest theaters at that convention center, and it got sold out in less than 10 minutes.
And that's because everyone loves the Goofy movie now. And Disney has seen that. They have definitely seen that. When the Goofy movie came out, it was not a big hit. The documentary kind of goes over that. It wasn't a big hit. And it was because, and I know, again, I'm saying this about the Goofy movie, but I truly believe it was because it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I don't think people were fully ready for the idea of seeing Goofy as a sympathetic character. I don't think they saw Disney as the type to talk about contemporary things and contemporary issues and even be in a contemporary setting, something that I think everyone appreciates about the Goofy movie now is how extremely 90s it is. How extremely radical. Dude, what, yeah, it is.
Here I was, as soon as you said extremely, I said, my brain immediately was like, extremely Goofy? Movie?
We were just having a conversation about this. It's called an extremely Goofy movie.
And it's called a Goofy movie.
Which, it makes sense, right? A Goofy movie. It's a pun. But I always call it the Goofy movie because it's, it's the Goofy movie. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is, hold on. The point is, the Goofy movie has gotten just so popular because I think people fully appreciate it now.
Right.
People who grew up with it, people who grew up with that version of Goofy, now that is their version of Goofy.
Yeah.
A version that can, be what his namesake is, but also be someone that can be more sympathetic. And I think that's beautiful, especially for a character like Goofy.
And it's cool, too, because I remember when I was younger watching this film and seeing Goofy when he finally sees the reveal of what Pete has said about his son. And as a counter to the nuance in the relationship between Max and Goofy, you also have Pete, who's PJ. And Pete's really acting as that more authoritative parent, kind of the nth degree of strictness. And I think it's a really great counter to see how Goofy approaches things and how he's on the other side.
Yeah.
And that hot tub scene between Pete and Goofy, where Goofy is defending his son and who he is. He says, "You may think that about my son, but I know him." And he says, and he makes some comment about
he says but he loves me, and then he says my son respects me.
Woo! And Goofy just goes, "Yeah," and just shrugs his shoulders and then walks away.
Yeah.
Ooh, it is so good. Those types of moments and the depth it brings, and
the subtext behind it, because it's not respect, it's fear.
It's fear.
And we've seen it throughout the entire movie. PJ's like, "Oh man, if my dad catches me with this camera, he's gonna squash me like a bug." He's afraid of his dad.
Afraid of his father, yeah.
Goofy doesn't want that for Max.
No, he wants to sustain a really healthy relationship, and you get the implication that's because that is, or at least some version of that, was had with him and his dad.
Yes.
So I think that's a really cool thing of watching generationally. What do we pass on to our children?
Yeah.
What are the ways that we are teaching them, but also trying to relate to them that carry on?
See, a Goofy movie, doing the generational trauma movies before that was Disney's bread and butter.
The other thing I want to note is the music. Because obviously, we've talked about this before. I know that I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but this is technically a musical,
It is.
but the musical numbers are not necessarily the main focus of the film. It feels like the musical aspect is sort of a subgenre.
Oh, definitely, because, I love all the music in the soundtrack. Like, I listen to all the songs. There's not a single one that's not a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a sustained note.
I surprised myself. But there's like a really big gap, like in between the Eye to Eye, the big song
Love
of the movie.
Eye to Eye. Mm-hmm.
And I think the song right before that is Lester's Possum Park.
Yeah, you're right.
And that happens at the beginning of the road trip. Oh, no, I'm wrong. It's Nobody Else But You. But Lester's Possum Park is the song before Nobody Else But You. And Nobody Else But You is at the end of the film. Like, it's at the climax. So
yeah, it's true.
I find it so nuts. In the documentary, they were talking about another song was going to be added. It was a song that kind of played as like Goofy's like nightmare fantasy of Max becoming a delinquent. And dude, it sounded like another banger. It
Really?
sounded like another certified banger. What I'm hoping they do is like they do the same thing like what they did with The Emperor's New Groove and Yzma's song. You know about that one?
I don't know about that, actually.
So originally The Emperor's New Groove was called like Kingdom of the Sun.
Kingdom of the Sun.
Yes. It had a completely different plot, and Yzma had a villain song. Well, eventually, the movie kind of got rewritten and reworked, and it became The Emperor's New Groove, and they cut Yzma's villain song, but her song is still on the soundtrack, and oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite Disney villain songs, like, ever. And I'm hoping, if that song in the Goofy movie is already done, right? If it's already like made and edited and what say you, maybe release like a 30th anniversary Goofy movie album, where you release that song with it. I would love to hear the full thing.
Yeah,
I
get
would just
that.
love to hear the full thing.
I get it. I also understand, especially with animation, why they make some of those cuts, though.
Oh, of course.
For sure. Because I was talking about this with one of my friends regarding Bad Guys 2. They had 3 different versions of that one movie, and they showed it to test audiences with different animatic pieces.
Oh,
And so
really?
That's often can happen within the feature animation process. You have multiple different directions, and you kind of test it out to see
Right.
hey, what's going to work here, and then they kind of figure out, oh no, this is going to work the best for the story we want to tell.
Right.
And I think with a film of that nature, it's a little bit more convoluted because you also have an ensemble. So you have to figure out who are going to be the main players and the main arcs we're focusing on,
Right.
and who's going to act as more of a supporting cast.
Yeah.
So a little bit different in that sense. But nonetheless, with a Goofy movie, I think the music does a really good job of assisting every single scene that it's in. Because Standout is the song that happens early on. It's the scene where Max Goof gets in trouble because he's pretending to be a Powerline.
Right.
Staring into the eyes of Roxanne, his love interest.
And it's literally about him
Standing out. And then Eye to Eye really culminates in the whole message of the film of what does it look like to see
Eye
other
to
people. What does it look like to see eye to eye with people that maybe you have differences with?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It really is just a great time. I think the music is really good throughout the film. I do love the opening song After Today. I think it is a phenomenal opening number.
Gosh. That's one of my favorite opening numbers. Like, it's like right up there with Belle.
Yeah,
it's like
interesting.
right up there with Belle. Like, those two are probably my favorite like Disney openings.
Oh, it's excellent, and it perfectly captures everything that Max is going through. It does a really good job of capturing the world and the aesthetics and kind of what we're entering into. Yeah, it does a really good job of saying you into that whole story.
That very 1995 suburban neighborhood.
Dude, I love how 90s this movie is. I know people have talked about this before, but it just, every time I come back to it, it's really a warm blanket of a movie.
It is.
Because you go back and you go, yeah, this is it. This was it, man. Nickelodeon slime, but... You know what the kids said.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I wasn't born yet, but I imagine that's what they said. Let's talk about Roxanne. Hey, let's talk about Roxanne.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about that those 90s animators and character designers
Yeah?
did a great job.
Crazy sentence.
And then they did a better job in the extremely goofy movie with what's her name?
Sylvia?
Hey, I'm not dissing Sylvia. I'm talking about the other one. The one that
the one that PJ?
The one that PJ's into.
The jazz
like
girl?
like hippie girl, yeah.
Who wears the beret?
What are they called? I've seen them in like so many 90s like animated stuff, and I don't know like what subgenre that is.
What do you mean? Oh, jazz?
No, like the like the people who like do the slam poetry and they wear the berets and they like there's a like I've seen that specific archetype in multiple things.
I mean, like an arts student?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
All I'm saying is, where'd they go and where can I find one?
You're real for that one.
Thank you.
I see you. You know what's funny? That as you were talking, I looked up what the character's name was.
Uh-huh.
And her name is Beret Girl in Cafe.
There's no way.
That's what I'm
Is that
reading.
why I couldn't think of her name? Because they just didn't give her one? I've been around since show one, and I still don't have a name.
Literally.
I didn't know that she just didn't have a name.
I don't think so. I mean, can you fact check, actually?
Yeah, okay.
You mind fact checking me? We're going to
Yeah.
take a beat, folks. We got to fact check this.
Beret Girl.
Okay.
That's her name. Beatnik. She's a beatnik. So we looked it up, folks. She's a beatnik, and her name is Beret Girl.
Wow. Look at that little discovery we've made. But going back to Roxanne,
Yes.
the original.
The progenitor.
You know, I remember being so sad when I watched an extremely goofy movie, and honestly, everything I saw thereafter, and I didn't see Roxanne. I was so confused.
Me
because
too.
They get together. It's this lovely little story. They're so cute. It's so adorable. And then she's just gone.
Just poof. And I guess that's what happens with the high school relationships, but, you know, come on, man. It's not real anyways.
Can we believe that true love conquers all?
Disney! I relate with what you're saying, because even I was sad at the end of the Goofy movie, where, you know, Max and Roxanne get together and they didn't animate me kissing Roxanne. What kind of injustice was that?
Mister, I haven't been born yet. Yeah. Too bad they didn't go forward in time.
Well, they could have animated the idea of me.
I just don't even know where to take this one, man.
You know, she doesn't have like the little dog ears or anything. It's not like Goofy or like
Does
Max.
she not have the dog ears?
Maybe they're just behind her hair.
I think that
No, she doesn't, because I had to draw her for the comic.
right.
She doesn't have the ears.
Oh, that's so weird.
That's crazy. I've never mentioned the fact that I draw the comics on here. I draw the comics. But yeah, so no, she doesn't have ears. Or at least she doesn't have dog ears because
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I love that relationship between the two. I think it's adorable.
Me
I do
too.
hope that she comes back in a bigger way. I know recently they finally recognized Roxanne in some of the official 30th anniversary
Yeah.
promotional material, right?
Well, you know, maybe I just haven't been as upset about it because there's this old show called House of Mouse.
True.
And she's
yeah,
in that.
She is in that.
Like, she's in it for an episode, but it shows that they're very clearly dating still. And this is like Max after the Extremely Goofy movie.
Right.
At least how I interpret it, because I saw House of Mouse after the Extremely Goofy movie.
Well,
so.
that's also how it was released.
Yeah,
so.
right. So they're clearly still dating. I'm just very invested in these fictional characters' love life.
What can you do?
Well, what can you do?
Look, they make you care. They make you lean in with heavy emotion.
And it's with a Goofy movie.
Again, it comes back to the fact that this film is so excellent. If you have not watched Not Just A Goof, I really do recommend it. There are so many things that we didn't get to dive into this episode that documentary does an excellent job in showcasing. And also, in that way, I did want to make sure I left off also talking about the animation company that worked on Not Just A Goof as well. Ventura Animation Studios did the animation for the Not Just A Goof documentary, and they did excellent work. It's this really great style. I mean, a lot of their work is all of it is 2D centric.
Yes.
But specifically for Not Just A Goof and showcasing the process, I think they made a really clever choice, whether intentional or not, of having all the animation be that kind of feeling like it's just now coming off of the page.
And I think the character designs for like everyone that was involved is so great.
It's great because it really fosters the style from a Goofy movie, but puts them into this.
Like Bill Farmer's design, Jeffrey Katzenberg's design is so funny.
It's so good. It's so well done. I really, Ventura Animation did great work.
He looks like the boss from The Incredibles.
From The Incredibles. I wonder if that was intentional, actually.
I almost wonder that too, but I almost wonder that with someone like Brad Bird as opposed to this. Like, I wonder if Brad Bird got the idea of making him look like that from, I don't know. We'll see.
It's anyone's guess.
If only we had an Incredibles episode coming out, but I don't know.
We'll find out.
Maybe.
I do want to also say what I do like about the animation there is that because the documentary is talking about the process of how it gets... because the documentary is talking about the process of how a Goofy movie got made, I think it's really cool that the animation also looks in process.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not final animation, it's not in full color, it feels like it's just going through that first rough animatic. Love that. I think that's a phenomenal choice.
Yeah, I think that's very clever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add, my co-host, but I think we've covered a lot about this movie. We may end up actually revisiting this film in some way.
Yeah.
Just because there are so many other little nuances to get into when it comes to this film.
Maybe they make a threequel to the Extremely Goofy movie.
Disney, can I just say, I don't know how much sway I have in this industry, but if I have any sway, if you made a third Goofy movie,
The Absurdly Goofy movie.
Ooh, me and every single one of my friends were there day one.
It's Max Goof being like, Goofy, we got to take you to the retirement home. It's your time. And Goofy like, Max, let's go on one more adventure.
I just want to make my way around. Oh, I'm falling out of my wheelchair.
Oh, my back, Maxie.
Max.
Yeah, let's end it on that.
Yeah, let's end it on that. That's a great.
So make sure to follow us if you want more hilarious content like that.
Now, we hope you enjoyed this episode on both Not Just a Goof and a Goofy movie. Look forward to new episodes of Toon Dudes coming out very, very soon. We will be starting to release some more consistent stuff as we enter into the end of the year. So we're looking forward to showcasing all of that. As always, I'm your co-host, Zach.
And I'm your co-host, Cab.
And we will see you on the next one. Oh, and of course,
Stay
tuned!
This episode is brought to you by I to Infinity.
I to Infinity Multimedia Production.